What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a huge haul video and announcement. I do appreciate everybody taking time, whether you're watching this live or on the rewind, and taking your time to check me out and my comic collecting adventures. Go ahead and say, if you have not already done so, although most of you already have, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button on this video and hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified of broadcasts like this in the future. So went on a road trip, workcation, if you will, mixed a little vacay in the middle of it, and hit a bunch of comic shops in between Louisiana and Texas, towards Dallas. Picked up a little over 100 books at the various places that I went to. So everybody would consider that a successful haul. But then when I get home and I have boxes upon boxes of stuff, you would say, even more fantastical. However, it doesn't stop there, folks. And so I definitely have a huge deal because of while I was in the hunt, I came across this, and I'll share that with you as I start the unboxing because I don't want to keep you all night, and very well could. Hopefully everybody is doing great and gravy out there in the crazy world that we live in. And made one last stop on the way home today, and was at a shop. It's a little shop. They don't really order a lot of newer stuff. They have some back issues, but typically it's overpriced. But he's one of these guys that's really fun to talk to. He'll just go on and on. You can just hear a conversation with him for a while. Maybe not the best or the most astute business person, but he is definitely a fun guy. Okay. Check that out. So he's not the most business astute person. So he had a bunch of comics. What in the world did you do this? Had a bunch of comics in the front and 7 short boxes. And I know they weren't there from times before when I've been in the shop. And so I said, man, what if I was to buy all these? Would you like give me a sweetheart deal? And so he's kind of taken aback, but once he got over that, I think the ideal appealed to him, and so I made him an offer. Well, I didn't make him an offer. Let me take that back. He made me an offer, and I accepted it. And I walked out of there with 7 short boxes. So approximately over 1,000 comics, most of which I probably will not keep, most of which I will probably sell at some point. I'm on various people's auction sites. I'll probably put some on IG, various auction sites. Like Shortbox Padawan. What's going on there, Gray Man, from across the pond? How are things going over there in the mother country? But yeah, so I was able to pick that up from him on the cheap, and so I'll pass a lot of those savings on to the YouTube comic book fam. Yeah, it's a mixture. The short boxes are a mixture of Marvel, DC, Independent, and the like. So here a while back, I was on IG and watching Rob Liefeld's comic book auction. Now, if you've ever been on one of his comic book auction, Tom's Comic Books and Reviews, thanks for stopping by. If you've ever been on one of Rob Liefeld's auctions, or if you ever watched Rob Liefeld, you know what I'm talking about, in that he is just like, all over the place. And so he does his auctions just like that. And so he's like, okay, just claim and we'll get with you later to see if we had enough by the time you claimed it. I mean, it is the most disorganized, you know what. And so I never heard nothing back from him, so I assumed that, hey, I didn't win anything. So a guy contacts me and says, hey, I'm with I went through 4 accents. Hey, I'm from the Scotlands. Hey, I do not wear a kilt. Hi, mate. How's it going? And I'm from Boston. Boston. See, a little different accents. Anyway, so he said, so this guy contacts me and says, hey, look, you ordered some stuff off of Rob's live auction. Are you still interested? I said, yeah, I just never heard anything, you know? And he said, okay, I'll let him know. So Rob Liefeld emails me and says, "Are you still interested?" And I said, "Yeah." I told the guy that I was. Just let me know how much I owe in your PayPal, and we'll pay you. And so I did. Well, I hadn't heard nothing from him, and so I know he was signing all those comics that he had out there. And so I was like, I hadn't heard nothing from him, so I'm like, okay, what's going to go down? And so anyway, emailed him up and said, "Hey, Rob, I don't know where my books were." He goes, "Were yours these?" And I confirmed, and he said, "I'm shipped them out." And what's going on, Mr. Comics 89? How are you doing? So Rob Liefeld emailed me back and said they're on their way, and then got them today. So this is the all new X-Men variant cover, number 3. This is the old X-Force team, and Rob signed it up there at the top. Then we got Deadpool and Cable number 1. Rob Liefeld signed it there for me too. And then he also signed this one here, Deadpool number 3, the variant edition. This is a homage to Weapon X, or X-Force number 2, the first appearance of Deadpool, in which case the roles were reversed. And but yeah, so he signed them all for me. And he put them all in one of these. And it's like, really? You didn't make enough on those things to not double board and bag things. Okay, whatever. They came okay, which I'm surprised. Steven Spock, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by and joining me in this comic book madness, because it's certainly a madhouse around here. You hear those kids in there? They're weeping and gnashing of teeth. No, not seriously, but I've got 10 boxes. These are the smaller ones of stuff that has came in. I've got about 100 comics for the PC. Got those in the other day. And then also I bought a collection. So the short story, if you want the longer story, you can rewind the video a little bit later. Yo, what is up? It is Edwin, the comic jabroni, coming at you. Man, what's going on with you? Hopefully everything is good for you over there in Georgia. Now that you got Georgia on your mind instead of Texas, hopefully the fam has got moved over there and all is good. Been seeing you flex on IG, flexing the guns. So, but yeah, so I bought a collection of about 1,000 comics, and plan on selling majority of them. I mean, it looks good, some good stuff. I don't know if it's anything that I'm going to want to keep, and so I'll pass some of those savings on to everywhere else. And any X-Men books, since they are the only good books to you. Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true, Mr. Comics 89. I do have some other stuff. I have Valiant, which nobody else except maybe me and Billionaires like, and Batman, which is a DC character there. There's a couple of image titles. Gideon Falls and Oblivion Song will be in those. All right. So pick these up from an IG seller. First off, we got Mighty Thor 338, Beta Ray Bill's second appearance, I believe, in a newsstand. Man, that's definitely thank you for your service, my friend. And hopefully they will be joining you if you're going to be over there long term, especially. So, but yeah, so early Beta Ray Bill appearance. Yeah, so pretty good copy. Sound press. Namor 17. So I've got most of this is the John Byrne 90s run of Namor, and got most of those up to like 25, issue 25. There was like a couple I was lacking. That was one of them. Deadpool and Cable split second, number 2, an homage to Back to the Future. So dig me some Cable, and I like getting in these homage covers. And then this one is just too quirky to pass up, and that is Deadpool 11, David Nakayama, I think that's who that is, and him riding a unicorn. very interesting. So those are those. And man, just comics coming here, comics coming there. It's like, where are they going to put them all? It's kind of like Professor X in Uncanny X-Men 280 at the end of the book. He's like, what do we do with all these X-Men? No, that was actually X Factor that he said that in. And then, of course, 281 was the birth of the Gold Team, which, by the way, beat the Fantastic Four in Mr. Comics 89 little show that he does. And X-Men Gold beat Fantastic Four. And so we shall see where they end up in the bracket. And his, if you haven't already checked out those shows, go check them out. Not just because I'm on there. You can go check out the ones I'm not. Because him and I believe the boy who had 7 have done one. And Mr. Comics, if you Matt, if you want to mention, I can't remember, Super Power Reviews. Who was it that is doing one with you next time? If you want to mention it in the chat, I'm giving you a plug. And guess what? It's not going to even cost you anything. How about that? So hopefully everybody is doing swell out there in YouTube land and staying safe, staying healthy in these crazy times that we live in. How about that? How about that? Great Man said earlier that I had various accents, of course, when I was trying to talk to him in the native language. I skipped character on him. So, pull tabs, people, pull tabs. Why can't we have pull tabs? All right. Okay. This is from a guy that I bought something off of YouTube, and then I saw he was selling some stuff off of IG as well. And so to fill up that box. So first off, we got Phoenix Resurrection number 2. This is in Huck Lee. And he did several of these with Phoenix's various costumes over the years. And I've got all of them between him and another seller I bought some stuff from. Because here is another one. This is the X-Men, the Grant Morrison days of X-Men. Not my favorite run, but part of canon either way. And that is her costume there. And then we got the X Factor version of her costume right there. And then we got X-Men Blue, the Mary Jane version. Hey, Mr. Comics, there you go. Spider-Man, right? But since she's a redhead, they got the Phoenix little motif going on there with her. Then we got Marvel Comics Presents number 6. This is Wolverine's daughter. This is the 3rd printing. There was a little steam on this book for a little while, and then it kind of died off. Boy, I tell you, there's some steam out there for that Miles Morales book. If only I had an Ultimate Fallout 4 issue, first printing. I had a second printing, and I sold it on an auction not that long ago. And when somebody scooped it up as fast as they did, I'm kind of wondering, did they know something I didn't back then? I really didn't care. But I'd like for it to go to a home. I'm trying to make an awful lot of money off of it. Well, as much as the post office on every other box looks like it's done its work, I'm hoping that the products inside this box have made it safe and sound. Looks like we got some good packing there, so that is positive. On the top, which is where most of that stuff damage looks to be done. So, how's New Comic Book Day coming back for some people? Man, I picked up more this week. Dark Knight's Metal, read it. Pretty good, at least I thought. Introduction to that storyline. And Perry can get behind it because, hey, it had Lobo in it, right? And then, see, what else did I pick up? I picked up all the Joker covers last week. I needed 2 more, and I picked those up. You'll see those in a little bit. But they were all just such fire, I couldn't pass them. Okay, so this is from Mike the Collector. And so he was selling on, I forget whose channel he was selling on the other night. I think it was Short Box Padawans. And he was trying to get enough funds together for a Giant Size X-Men #1. So he put this lot up there. Man, he was throwing out some huge lots. And so I said, well, there were some in here that I wanted, some not so much. And I said, well, it was a good enough price. Help a brother out. Let him get a Giant Size X-Men, which now he has. He actually has a higher grade one than I do. So no hate there. Appreciate. But yeah, so I was able to pick up this lot from him. I'll probably, and a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually said after that, I'll probably be seeing some of these come back up on auction. And he was right, because for the vast majority of these, I'm not going to keep. I'm not a Gen 13 guy. I like some of J. Scott Campbell's work. Certainly not a detractor, just not a huge fan like I am for some other artists out there. But the majority of these are Gen 13. So we've got Symbiote Spider-Man #1, the Gwen Stacy version. That's a Art Germ cover there. I'll keep it though. New Mutants #1, Art Germ cover. Nice. Already got it. So probably we'll sell that one. Gwen Stacy #1. J. Scott Campbell, seeing a pattern here. We'll sell that one. Been seeing this one. It's a good thing I didn't buy it because it would have been strictly a cover buy. But this is Venom #8, but it's the Uncanny X-Men. Mr. Comics 89, you can get behind that team, right? Right? Because that's X-Men Go. There you go. But yeah, so been putting on buying it, so it worked out good because I will keep that one. Uncanny X-Men #6, the variant versus Conan. So I actually have a virgin variant of this for Conan #1. It's the same cover, except it doesn't have, obviously, the Uncanny X-Men trade dress down there. So since I collect Uncanny X-Men, I will keep that one. Then we got Gen 13 #1. This is not the first volume. And then we got Gen 13 #5. Then we got #5. So one's from the first series and one's from a latter series. Then we got, this is one of the main reasons I got this right here. Mark Brooks autograph right here. Look at that Phoenix. That is fire right there. No pun intended. So got that one. And then this is another one I'm keeping. Jean Grey #1. J. Scott Campbell from his store, and he got it signed right here. Right here. So pretty cool. Didn't have a Campbell signature. So plus would have bought it for a cover buy. Oh yeah, it's hot. The puns abound. Gen 13 #4. This is from the original series back in the day. #3. Check that out. #3. Newsstand. #2. And then #1. And 0. And then we got the Wizard half edition. How about that? Still got the certificate of authenticity in the back. So pretty cool, pretty cool. So I'll probably put that up as a Gen 13 lot, and I'll get most of those to a happier home, since I'm not going to be keeping that. And so, yeah, I figured Mr. Comics could get behind some Spidey, since he's an ASM collector, trying to put him an ASM run together. Got Matt, have you sent that comic off to PGX to get that graded yet, or have you got the facsimile cover yet? I know the last time I mentioned something to you about it, you were waiting on the facsimile cover and maybe sending some other books off with it. Didn't know if you'd already sent it off. So last night in the hotel room, I was tempted to get on because there's always various auctions on Wednesday night. And I was tempted to get on. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to board and bag these comics I just bought. And I am going to read them. I know it's a foreign concept to some people, but I actually like to read them. I most of the time buy them to read. And collecting them and cover buys are an addition. But hey, everybody's got their own little deal. Why in the world somebody would take all of it and then put it with no format? So it's 7 wonders that it actually came in one piece. So let's see what they say. Thank you for your purchase from Omnomax Traders LLC on eBay. Don't forget to leave us positive feedback. And we use automatic feedback if you do. Please contact us. Thanks. So a little nice little touch there. But this is Uncanny X-Men #2 annual. And this is of volume 2 or 3 of Uncanny X-Men. So this is the last annual I needed to have all the annuals for volumes 1 through 5. So got all those there now. So, Matt, I don't know if you've seen in the comments down here. You might have seen it before me because I know StreamYard usually lags. But Steven Spock's got an ASM 101 coverless if you are interested. And hopefully everybody's checked out my Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 that came out earlier today and saw some of that. I have a second print of ASM 101 I like better than the first print. Okay, cool. So okay. That's a way to recycle. Send it to somebody else. So yeah, I used all this. Oh, I know who this is now. Let's see the address on here. Yep, I see it. So that's Jay Blitz. And so so the first box, Blitz, if you see this, check that box out. Nice. See, you went to great lengths to make sure that even if it didn't, it would make it to me in one piece. So Jay Blitz, I bought a bunch of stuff from him. And he sent me my comics. Well, the first time I bought a box from him, it was a box that size. And they didn't get here like they were intended to be here. Even though he did what he was supposed to do in packing them, the post office did not do what they were supposed to do in getting them to me. So Uncanny X-Men 209, direct edition. And so X-Factor 6. Like such a there's no way that there's no way I could pass it up. X-Men 4, first appearance of Omega Red. Newsstand. I've got a couple of editions that are probably in a little bit better shape than that one. It's got a slight spine roll, probably could be pressed out, but didn't have a newsstand edition of that. I don't buy a newsstand and directs for everything I get. I mean, that'd be way too expensive, but if it's an X-Men, if I can get it on the cheap, not paying extra shipping because I'm buying something else, I'll go ahead and pull the trigger. But we got Batman 696 and 697, Black Mask revealed. That's Tony Daniels' work. He did that. A lot of those last of the original Batman Volume 1 covers in particular. And these are some more Batman. Batman 702. Batman 701. Oh, Batman's ticked. Looks like he's ticked. Something just exploded. He come up. He's fixing to take care of some business as Batman likes to do. And then we got Batman 703, Prelude to Bruce Wayne, The Road Home. So Fabian Nascio wrote this. better known for his X-Men work. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Got a mound of boxes and trash battling up beside me. What am I to do? Comics, trash, everywhere. Everywhere. And trash. Let's see who I got this from. Somebody in Missouri. A bunch of them. What did I get from somebody in Missouri? Wow. A bunch of stuff. Look at that there. Batman's mad. He's not Spider-Man. Yeah, he has an anger control issue. He's always whining too. I don't know if anybody has ever seen that Conan where Batman has to join the MCU. If you haven't, check it out on YouTube. It's pretty hilarious. You're so whiny. And then Andy is Robin. He comes over there. He tells him how the cow eats the cabbage. He tells him off. It was pretty funny. Okay. I have no. Wow. I don't even know who these are. That's interesting. Come on. Hope I didn't get somebody else's stuff. I did have somebody contact me about a book I bought. I bought it on IG on Elite Comics. They're doing that road recovery tour or whatever like that. Gray Man says, I want his 41. Is it first Rhino? And I have no idea. I don't know. I am at a loss because I have not bought any of these. I mean, there's a Batman. Oh, that's strange. Matter of fact, it's so strange. I'm just going to set this down right here. And we'll move on. All right, who dat? Thanks for joining us, man. Bought a collection. Yes and no. I went to a comic shop and bought 7 short boxes from them, various mix of comics. And so there's not going to be any like big giant keys in there. You know, somebody of who dat status. I mean, he just deals in like X-Men 1s, TMNT 1s, that kind of stuff. He don't deal in the small stuff. But so yeah, it's nothing like that. But you know, definitely a lot of decent reads in there for sure. Who will hunt the wabbit now? Who will hunt the wabbit? That's a book I need to get. Is the Elmer Fudd and Batman. I read the first part of that. That was hilarious. Be very quiet. And we got Mr. Comics 89 dropping a little ASM knowledge on us here. 41 is first Rhino. 43 is second and origin of Rhino. For seems like I had the first Rhino. I sold it. Somebody. I guess I sold it to him. He probably already had that one. Sold a lot of my ASMs to Mr. Comics 89 because he was an ASM collector and I was collecting so much as it were. I said, I can't go for an ASM run. It's just going to be too much, which is what he's trying to do. So they went to better homes and decided to do a lot of Valiant, which nobody's really doing. So playing for me. And then let's see here. Let's see here. They took his rifle. Yep. Yeah, that's true. You know, I was reading today. Oh, I know. I was looking at this thing about everybody's just so like these comedians. They were saying you're not very PC, and you're like, look, dude, comedian. You know, Dave Chappelle and Jerry Seinfeld and several different people were like, just, dude, you can't just laugh at yourself. I don't know who can you laugh at. You know. And, yeah, it's pretty good points. We live in a culture that's just so hypersensitive about everything. All right, I don't know who this is from. This is from Bub's Comics. Bub's Comics. Bub's Comics didn't usually do any sales, but I guess he was needing to clear out some space or whatever. And so he was on, I believe, Z-Collect's show the other night. And so I was picking up most everything that he had. X-Men, The Seeds of Tomorrow, Hickman's X-Men Revealed. So kind of like a promo book. I had not seen it. And then ironically enough, somebody else on another auction I was on up and finds it. Oh, I didn't even get through Jay Blitz's stuff yet. Where did I get all this stuff from? Oh, all right. This is from that people I do not know who in the world they are. Okay. This is from Bubs. Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent as Batman and Superman. Of course, that's a fugitive homage cover. Hey, what's going on? Perry's Comics. Not to be confused with Perry Reacts, but this is Perry's Comics. He must have heard me say Lobo or something like that earlier, so now he wanted to get in on the game. Batgirl 29. Cool Middleton cover there. Batgirl 21. Got a Middleton cover, I believe. Wolverine number 10. This is the second printing. Giant size Wolverine number 1. Essential X-Men number 2. And so this is from 2016. And this is like a collection of comics. And it's got the, I think this is like a foreign comic because it's got the pound version on here. And this is number 3. And then this is number 1. So these are reprints of those from overseas. Weapon Lost, The Hunt for Wolverine, variant edition number 2. Reminds me of like Daredevil, which I think is what that's supposed to do because Daredevil was part of that. And Weapon Lost number 1. Weapon Lost number 4. Astonishing X-Men Saga. They're reading their own book. Are we that sorry? What's going on? Astonishing number 10. Man, Bub put them in the Mylar light stuff. Those ain't Mylars, they're close. Probably the lighter Mylars. Astonishing X-Men 12. X-Men. To me, my X-Men. No, Charles Xavier. We know all your deep dark secrets. I'm so sad. Astonishing X-Men 13, the variant number 20. And Hunt for Wolverine, Weapon Lost number 3. So I think I got the Weapon Lost, the entire set from Bub, and helped him clean out his comic book box. And the Gray Man says, yeah, 41 I want. Awesome cover. So let's go back to the Jay Blitz pile. I'm like a kid on Christmas. I don't know if anybody was like this on Christmas, but me, I would tear up every gift under the tree that was mine, and then I'd go back and look at it and say, oh, thanks. Or, wow, great. Ooh. I don't remember it being that. Ooh. That one was ugly. Uncanny X-Men 288 newsstand. Direct edition of 219. Welcome to the X-Men Havoc. Hope you survived the experience. Of course, that was a cliche line that they used for Shadowcat and Rogue before. Then we got Uncanny X-Men 204, the direct edition. Whoa. And I got that 281 because it was a newsstand. I did not see that. Ugh. That was ugly. There, over there. I mean, that's not even worth having. All right. So Blitz knows how to put some pull tabs on. So that is good. Good. K-Talis X-Men. Yes. X-Men. Pretty much, if you look at one of my videos, you're going to have some X-Men. You're going to have some Valiant comics somewhere in there. All right. So we got some 95. I think he put this a lot up. He was doing an auction. Wolverine 109. So some of these I needed and some of them I don't. newsstand of Wolverine 67. Old Man Logan annual #1. Little Punisher action going on. Old Man Punisher. Old Man Logan 15. Little vampire. X-Men Ultra Collection. This is book 2 of 5. Little Phoenix, Rachel Summers Phoenix. And then we got Sabretooth #1. And I have this one. I did not realize, and I was like, okay, great, I got another copy of it. But I realized that this one is a newsstand. Wolverine half from Wizard Comics. Still got the certificate of authenticity. That was one of the main reasons I bought this lot from him. Old Man Logan 31. Signed by Ed Brisson. That was another reason I got it. You can't really see. I don't know why he signed it in black. But we got Marvel's must-haves. Ultimate X-Men #1, which includes 1 through 3. Then we got X-Men 32. This is from like the X-Men. I think that's 3, volume 3. And the Death of X, #4 of 4. So Cyclops taking on Black Bolt, which if you have read that series, which I have, it's not Cyclops. Cyclops is already dead at that point. He dies from the mist, and Emma Frost fakes like he's still alive, and so that it can be like Black Bolt killed him, and so she can rally the X-Men to fight the Inhumans, and which happens, but he died of the mist, which gets resurrected, as they're all subject to do, by Kid Cable. And there you go. Resurrected by Kid Cable and using the Phoenix Force. Because when Phoenix resurrected, she resurrected him for a minute and had this little implant deal in there. Long story short. Okay. This is a slab, obviously. I wonder if this is the one that I got from Elite Comics I mentioned earlier, because they contacted me and said, hey, I can't find this comic. If it's in there, let me know. And I will. And I hope that's not what happened with them other books that they meant to send them to somebody else and send them to me instead. I'll have to look at my sales. And maybe if I open them all up, it might be that I bought some. Steven Spock says, Kay Tyler, follow me on IG. Have a lot of books for sale. Might be a little expensive shipping over there. Super Mole Retro. What is going on, man? Thank you. Now I know where those are coming from. Those are your mystery boxes, aren't they? Super Mole Retro, are you from Missouri? Let me know in the chat. Sure, because then it makes sense. He is selling some mystery boxes, and I was watching somebody else's channel, and they were opening them, and I was like, oh, that's some pretty good stuff in there. And so I can get behind that. So I ordered several from him. If you're from and I'm like, who are these from? So, oh boy, that's bad when you buy so many comics you don't know where they're coming from. Yeah, I told myself I was going to stop buying as many comics as fast as I buy them, so I can catch up on some of my reading and enjoy them and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you what, next thing I know, all these comics start coming up on IG and my list. I keep a list right here. That way, when they come in, I can get rid of them. And then, of course, I went comic shop hunting. Boy, I tell you what, I went comic shop hunting in Texas at a place called Ground Zero Comics. And nice folks. And you have to wear a mask in there. And so I'm like, wow. I mean, I was just wet. And I was like, Board sweat. I was like, man, this is killing me. This is killing me. And they said, well, what do you think I feel like? Yeah, but I don't work here. I'm trying to buy stuff here. So hear my whining and complaining, right? And so Super Mole Retro, if you are from Missouri and those are indeed your boxes, which probably the way they were laid out and stuff in the box makes me kind of wonder that is what that is, then let me know. And I will do a separate video for those particular comics. And no, this is not the, this is, I thought it was a slab, but I guess it wasn't. This is some more stuff I bought off IG. I'll do a separate video with the unboxings of that. I've been buying some more magazines and stuff lately, like just different stuff. All right, so got these off a seller off IG, and this is Wolverine #2. Him and Silver Samurai going after it right there. X-Men #7, the variant edition. Marvel Comics presents Wolverine. This is number 85. This is the first appearance of Cyber. And then Malibu from August 92 of 16. Say Malibu's son, everybody automatically assumes Spawn's first appearance. But no, this is not Spawn's first appearance. This is, I believe, the first appearance of Cyberforce. I believe this predates Cyberforce 1. I might be wrong. If it's not, and somebody knows, correct me. But I think it is, and that's why I ended up buying it off of IG when I saw it. Pretty cool, huh? I'm not a huge Mark Silvestri fan, but hey, I'll take it. So, oh, I know which one this is. This is The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, number 19, and some Iron Fist on the cover there. And I thought there was like a little tear at the bottom, but I guess there is. And so these are all black and white comics, and so some people like that, and some people don't. Some people like them magazine format, and some people don't. But the Iron Fist is written by Chris Claremont rather. The Sons of the Tiger. This is the first appearance of the White Tiger, the first White Tiger. And the George pretty cool. So this is the black and white action there, and like some Iron Fist stuff, Chris Claremont stuff. And it was the first appearance, so decided to pick her up. Cool. So aside from what is probably, so yeah, Super Mole Retro says yes, sir. Okay, so if you were here earlier, Super Mole, I went to open your package, and I'm like, who are these comics? I ain't ordered these comics. And when you showed up, it was kind of fortuitous because I needed it. So Gray Man says, I have one as it is the first Jack of Hearts in it. Yeah. So there are some magazines out there. Like I've got the Foom #1, which is the first Wolverine. And then I've got Foom #10, which is the first of the new X-Men. So it predates Giant Size X-Men #1. So Mr. Comics 89 is flexing his amazing Spider-Man run. I just counted all my ASM books on my checklist. I don't have. There are currently 844 ASM books. I own 478. I have 366 issues to go. Woo, woo. So and so there you go. And he says his run is 54% complete. So you're over halfway there. And you're better than Bon Jovi because you're not living on a prayer. There you go. Get on with it, Matt. Get on with it. That's right. That's right. I'm getting on. So if you don't know, he did recently purchase a ASM one. It was coverless, and he's going to crack it and put a cover on it like I did for my X-Men one. And so he's going to be doing that. So really, really good book to add to the collection. So these are ones that I got at the shop that I bought the 7 short boxes from. I'm not going to show the 7 short boxes on this video, but I am going to show you what I picked up. The dollar comics, The Brave and the Bold, Batman and Catwoman, Wolverine, True Believers, Batman 428, the dollar comic. I've got the original version of this, and signed by Jim Starlin. And then Joker 80th anniversary cover. This is the 2010 of the Jock. And doesn't that just scream like insanity right there? I mean, and that's the Joker, right? Super Mole says or asks, do you already open? Wondering what you got? I haven't seen any feedback. Someone got the there you go. Look, you're making me excited. So what I'm going to do, Super Mole, like I mentioned earlier, I will, when I do unboxings for mystery boxes, I do those in separate videos so they don't get cluttered up and all my other ramblings. And so I'm going to do another video, and I will drop it. Probably do the video tonight and probably drop it sometime tomorrow. So everybody else, be sure to check that out. Put the bell notification on there so you'll know when I drop that video and others. I'll let you know. As a matter of fact, I'll shoot you a message on IG letting you know that I have dropped that video if you care to watch it. And hey, look, if I got the ASM 361, I'll be bragging all the way. Yep, I'm super excited to get my SM1 graded with the facsimile cover. Hey, my X-Men 1 looks really good. And, with collecting, like Two Brothers to steal their thing, collect your way. It's about you and what makes you happy. And so if you got the ASM1 and, it's good. I know Reggie, one of the questions that was asked him when he completed his ASM collection was, do you have like any standards that you won't go below? And he said, I won't do coverless covers. Well, hey, good for him. But if you're good with a cover, good for you. So, it's your collection. It's not mine, right? So, picked up Red Hood and the Outlaws 45. Was going to pick this up a couple weeks. This was like the first week that DC has started shipping comics again. And every place I went to, they were damaged. They weren't here. Eternal Warrior, Days of Steel, #3. I needed this. This is like a 3-part miniseries, and I needed that one to complete it. Armor Hunters #2 of the Harbinger set. You knew I had to have some Valiant in there, right? Some Valiant goodness. And this was one of the ones I needed to complete it. So I've been working on my XO Man-O-War run. I got Mr. Unknown Comic Guy is sending me stuff. My neighbor from next state over. And so, yeah, he's going to be sending me some stuff in the Valiant box. But this is XO Man-O-War 50, the X cover. There is a connecting one that's XO O. So this is 50X, and then that's 50O. Mr. Comics 89 says it was ASM1 that I could afford, and if I wanted to complete books, it's 2 to 3 times what I paid. Exactly. And so, my thought is, hey, I've got all, and I can say, hey, I got all the Uncanny X-Men, and I do. Volumes 1 through 5, and I fill in like directs where I only had newsstands or vice versa. I get the occasional that I don't have, but I have all the annuals too. And so if I want to go back and upgrade, I've already upgraded number 11, the first appearance of Stranger. If I ever want to go back and upgrade, I can. But, in the meantime, I've got it. So will the cover be attached with the staples or just wrapped around the comic? I can't speak for Mr. Comics. And feel free to chime in, Matt. But Gray Man, I can't speak for him, but on mine, it was just wrapped around. And so when they sealed it, you can't tell it. Looks just like it. Yeah, and like we were saying, yeah, one day you might upgrade it. So same thing with my X-Men 1. But these books like X-Men 1, Spider-Man 1, AF 15, things like that, I mean, they're just getting so cotton picking expensive. It's just for collectors, unless you just got a big bankroll and that's all you do. My other thing is, and I've tried to do this, and I have to some extent, I have culled out some of the stuff that I used to collect and have determined that there are some things that I can read and not collect. I don't have to collect it just because I read it. I can get it in graphic novel or whatever. But I've kind of determined that, but I'm trying to focus that way I can buy the stuff that I really want and not buy it on all this other stuff. That happened a lot when the new comic book day went away because I wanted to, hey, there's no new comic books to focus on. Let's focus on some of the back stuff. And so when it started back, I let some of the stuff go. Some of the stuff that I really wasn't tied to, really didn't feel it. It's like, yeah, it's okay, but there's other stuff I'd rather have out there. And so by doing that, by buying the lower grade stuff, if you're okay with it, you can buy more stuff. Like he said earlier, the ASM1. Yeah. It looks just like it. I mean, if you took a magnifying glass, you could see, oh, where's the staples at? But it's my X-Men 1's over there on my wall, and I looked at it. Matter of fact, I posted a video of it, and somebody says, I don't understand how that's a 0.5. There's just no way that's a 0.5 because it looks just that good, the reproduction cover that is. So XO67. So Jason, lesson to learn. So I'm going through all these XOs, and I found this little treasure trove of Valiant comics, which you don't find just everywhere you go. So I found it here. So I said, I better take advantage of it. Picked this one up. Well, all the other ones were like $3 and $4 and $2.79. They were odd amounts. So when I saw this one, in my mind, it read like $2 and some change. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I picked it up. So when I got to put it in CLZ, I noticed the sticker on there says $22. I'm like, oh, I wanted it, but I don't know if I wanted it that bad. I could probably find a much better deal somewhere else. And sure enough, I go to the next comic shop, and where do I find it? In the dollar bin. Hopefully you will live, and hopefully you will learn. But that's that one right there. And then this is XO from the second series. So Acclaim had already bought Valiant, and these stories can get kind of weirded out. And so they were very short runs, very low print runs for sure. And so this is the second series, and they ran for like 15, 16 issues, and they stopped. Acclaim files bankruptcy, and Valiant goes dormant until the early 2010s, and they kicked it back off. So this is XO Men of War 95 yearbook, number 1. And then back to the volume 2. That's number 2. That's number 3 of the second volume. Number 4 of the second volume. And number 5 of the second volume. Notice that Mark Waid wrote several of those stories. Number 9 of the second volume. Number 10, which is an homage to Avengers 4 or 5, where Captain America's first appearance in the Silver Age. And I noticed on the back there were several homage covers to various comics. Matter of fact, this one is an homage to an X-Men. All right. There's another one that's a back of it was homage to an X-Men comic. The one with Arcade, early hundreds. All right, so this is number 11. Number 14. This is the XO database. And so this one's pretty neat because, and I ended up buying another copy. I bought one copy at Second and Charles, and then the next day I bought another copy for the same price. They were only 50 cents a piece at Awesome Comics, which wasn't very awesome, by the way, but it was okay awesome. How about that? But check that out. It's got the acetate cover on the inside for XO there. So pretty cool if you're a Valiant collector. So got that. Then picked up this book. I generally do not do this very often, but because I've got Batman 92, the A cover, I did pick up the B cover. Who's that? Art Germ? Yeah, Art Germ. And some shops had sold out of it, and I got that one. I actually got 2 copies, and that's what I meant by normally don't do that. So picked up 2 copies. Could have picked up some more, and I'm like, nah, I'll just use my money for what I want. And I got an extra one, and so if somebody ends up wanting it and it goes up some, I'll sell it, make a little money, and make somebody happy too without gouging them like an Ultimate Fallout 4. Tomb of Dracula number 10. This is the facsimile cover. Don't get so excited. It's the facsimile. Some of these facsimile covers actually have a little value on them. But I've been going to some of these comic shops that have a lot of like newer books up there, and you can tell they've been there for a while when you go and the dust blows off. But this is Tomb of Dracula number 10, First Blade. And then this is the David Finch cover for Dark Knight's Death Metal. So kind of like the story, kind of like how it started out. It started out okay. Like it. The Joker 80th anniversary. This is the 2000s. This is one I wasn't able to pick up last week. Pretty sick looking Joker cover. This is an older one, but DC Unkillables number 2. Was it Full Metal Jacket homage? Somebody want to confirm that in the chat? Uncanny X-Men True Believers. This is the 141, I believe. And Wolverine 145. Silver Claws there. X-Men Annual 98. This is the first volume, or the Jim Lee run is what I usually refer to it as. And then we got 99. And Fighting Against the Phalanx. Looks like some Red Skull there. Deceased Unkillables number 3. I kind of like that series. You know, I never got into the Deceased part. I read Deceased number 1. And I got a couple cool homage covers there, like the It cover. But yeah, I never really got into it, but I picked up the Unkillables, and I really liked that storyline. Thought it was pretty cool. In the chat, be sure to tell me what you think. And I know they're coming out with Deceased again, where the heroes actually come back. These True Believers have been out for a while, and I was in a comic shop, and they had a bunch of them still in the deal. They were only $1, and been getting some homage covers. And when I recycle my wall back out and do like the twin deal that I did before, I'll have several of these. And then this is X-Men True Believers, first appearance of Bishop. Got the Valiant Universe Handbook, the 2019 edition. That looks like Perillo. It looks like his Bloodshot. Quantum and Woody number 1. And so this is kind of Valiant's goofy comic. This is from the 2012, not the one that just started over again. Destroyer number 0. And so I just picked this up on IG from a guy. I have not got it yet. You would have thought I got everything by the time I open up all those. Says, I loved Unkillables. Andrew, thanks for joining us. And bought multiple copies of the various covers. Yeah, I really like, and I'm getting into these homage covers. Like I had the Fugitive Batman, Superman one earlier. I've got the Joker one that's like the mask. And so you saw the one I just got for DC Unkillables. And so really like those. Really cool. But the thing about this one is that it is a newsstand version. And there was only 50,000 of these printed. And so back in the 90s, that's a really low print run. Valiant, to my knowledge, at least down here where I grew up, they did not sell a lot on newsstand. It was mainly direct. So went to Second and Charles, and they had a buy 5 get 5 free. They were all 50% off, and was able to pick up a bunch of dollar books as a result of that. So picked up Shadow Man number 22, number 23, 24, and these aren't all in order, because when I was boarding and bagging them last night and trying to stack them to ship them back with me, 25, 26. There's that other EXO database. Yes, I do. Did you buy my other copy of that? I was thinking it was you. or maybe it was, who else was that? Somebody else bought a copy from me. Huh. So I was doing an auction and I had bought an extra one. It came with a lot, and I had just bought the X-O Man Award right before all the little hype with John Cena and stuff that came out. And I got my copy of number 1, which I have like issue 1 through 30, I think, and a lot of the other ones leading up to the end. Yes. Oh, okay. There you go. I thought it was you. And so, anyways, and then I bought a lot from somebody off a YouTube auction, and I was like, yeah, I got an extra copy. I'll just sell it. I don't typically, like I said earlier, I don't typically carry extra copies of most things. Book of Death, The Fall of Ninjak. Some more True Believers, the first appearance of Moira McTaggart. And so, like I said, with the Twinsy wall that I've done before, I'll put this one with my original, and I actually now have a Spanish version of this comic as well. Another rabbit hole to go down to, I must say. Phoenix Returns, True Believers. This is the Fantastic Four issue where the Phoenix comes back. There's in this one, and then it leads into X Factor number 1. Eternal Warriors, Time and Treachery. So this is what I was talking about, like really wonky. And if y'all read Eternal Warrior back in the day, you remember that the latter part of the Eternal Warrior became like the Highlander TV series. So it would start out like him in the past, and then he fast forward to the future, and then somehow it connects back to the story from the past. And so it was just like that, which I was okay with because I was a fan of the Highlander. But you know, if you watch the Highlander 2 movie, that was kind of weird, and it was like totally off the deal. This was much the same way. And so the brothers, Ivar, Aram, and the Eternal Warrior, all are the head folks, and then they give some kind of flower, allows the other people to become eternal, and so kind of weird. So Ivar the Time Walker, number 1. I've read this series, but I picked it up on the cheap at Second and Charles. And at the end of the series, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Stellar Man of the Atom, number 18. And then Man of the Atom, 35. And then this is printed in Valiant Vision. So you can read it without that, but that was something that Valiant did back in the day with the 3D glasses. And so you can read it in its 3D. Secret Weapons number 11. This one has not been opened, still in the file bag. XO number 45. That's of the first series. It's a Bart Sears art there. I was supposed to go to a con in February, and Valentine's kind of derailed that one for me. And so wasn't able to go, but I was going to get him to do a sketch cover for me because he was going to be there. It was in Texas. Eternal Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, number 7. Batman and the Boy Wonder, number 8. Jim Lee art on the cover there. Solar Man of the Atom, number 25. Turok the Dinosaur Hunter, number 47. This is the final issue of that first volume there. Of course, Turok is now, I believe, by Diamond Comics because Turok was a Gold Key comic from back in the day. So was Solar, and so was Magnus the Robot Fighter, and that's how they started their with those characters, because Valiant used the rights to, at least the rights, whatever you want to say, and then of course eventually Acclaim let those rights go because they didn't have the money, and so they were never in the reboot in the early 2010s. Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, number 4. This is a comic based on or I don't know if the YouTube thing is based off of the comic. Either way, there's a YouTube version of that. This is number 1. It's the photo cover, so you see the actors that play the various characters there. And so this was what Valiant was doing to try to convince everybody, to mainly money people, that, hey, we can make a movie with these characters just like Marvel's doing. And so they must have convinced somebody because they made a Bloodshot one at the worst time possible, right? That's when the Corona stuff happens, so hopefully it doesn't derail future plans. And I got Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe number 2, which this is the guy that played Bloodshot. And for those of you who don't know, that's Jason David Frank, also known as Tommy from the original Power Rangers as the Green Ranger. He is the one that played that. Batman Hush double feature, collecting issues 60 and 609. XO 44. Shadow Man number 7. Yeah, I was surprised to find those early Shadow Man like this and in the shape they were in. Number 10. Number 11. And so, little maybe unknown fact to the Acclaim. It had a volume XO and Bloodshot did. And that was some of Clayton Crane's either first artwork or very early artwork was in those particular comics. Doesn't look as good as it does today, so you can tell he's very gotten better. Shadow Man number 12. Shadow Man number 14. But this should be a comic that Hudak can get behind because this is based out of New Orleans. Shadow Man 15. 17. 18. 19. Guest appearance by Aerosmith. And then number 20. We got Shadow Man 21. We got the facsimile edition of Thor 229. So for those of you who might or might not know, this is a first appearance, if you want to call it that, of Wolverine. And so it's this one and one other comic. And if you know it, be sure to put it in the chat. But this and one other comic has an advertisement for Wolverine for Hulk 180 and 181 in there. So Savage Avengers number 4. Well, David Finch goodness there. Missing Savage Avengers number 8. That way I can have the entire first part of the run and read this. Number 5. Solar Men of the Atom number 16. Some Quesada early work there. Number 17. Number 18. And I got these all out of the 50-cent bins at Awesome Comics in Dallas, or a suburb of Dallas, Georgia, Texas, yesterday. Solar 20, 21, and 22. Some more Quesada early work. And Art the Bear, too. What was that Thor number? That was Thor number 229. 229. And I'm not really a big Thor fan. I like Beta Ray Bill. You saw I got Beta Ray's second appearance earlier during this video. And I've got some other, and then I do like the Donny Cates version of Thor. Been reading that. But yeah, so hadn't always been a big Thor fan. Solar Man of the Atom 26. Got it strictly for the Wolverine reference. 27. 28. So Solar has this personality split, and that's the Destroyer personality there. 29. Also done in Valiant Vision. 30. Looking for the day when I might be on Comic Gories and they ask for a Christmas issue. I've got one right here. Solar number 31. Hey, you brought the bad guy home. We're trying to have a family time. We didn't know what to do with him. Just destroy him. 34. Valiant Vision. 36. Him fighting against Master Dark there. Number 37. So when they brought over Solar from Gold Key, pretty much they kept the basics of, and I'm not sure about, well, Magnus, they wrote in that the girl, Chris from Harbinger, was actually his mother, and in the Unity, he goes back in the future. He goes into the future and becomes Magnus, even though they're fighting beside Magnus in the Unity storyline. So that they wove that part of it in there. Turok, he had base it. So then they wove Turok into the whole Unity thing because he was fighting dinosaurs. He comes into modern day, and that's how they brought him into Valiant there. But Solar, they pretty much kept the same old stuff. 39. We got 40. 42. Got 43. And 44. And so then we got some Eternal Warrior #1, The Awakening. This is a photo cover of Ninjak the Valiant Universe, the Eternal Warrior guy that played him. But this is Eternal Warrior The Awakening. It was one shot that he did. Incredible Hulk 180, the facsimile edition. So I've got me an original. Now I got me a facsimile. Quantum and Woody #1. This is the current version or current run of that book. Detective Comics 475. And the facsimile cover, of course, but really cool book. And then Detective Comics 359, First Batgirl, and this is the facsimile edition. I almost pulled the trigger on one. Big Will had one for sale, and he messaged me and said, "Hey, I got this one for sale. It was $400." I'm like, I was tempted for sure. Then I got this Wizard Collector's Edition. Not sure which issue this is, but this is some X-Men Wizard action there. $4. Then we got The Question #3, some Sienkiewicz and Jeff Lemire goodness. He's not your average gumshoe. But yeah, so pretty cool storyline. Never been big into The Question. It's a DC character. Besides from Batman, not really been ever big into DC, but like the artwork and like the story thus far. That's one of those black labels. This is Hulk #14. Thought it was just a neat deal. I'd actually seen it on IG, then saw it at the comic shop. Can't remember the name of the comic shop. Urban Legends, that's what the name of it was, in Texas. And picked it up for $3. And it was a chilling mystery with the Moon Knight. So picked it up for that reason. And then we got issue 12, Lou Ferrigno's TV Hulk Talks. This would have been cool to get Ferrigno to sign this one. I got him to sign that Hulk hand instead. The Color of Hate, Urban Battlefield for Hulk's Weirdest Challenge. Interesting. I wonder if it's anything like what we're going on in today's world. So there you go. I mentioned something about collecting magazines, and so there's some there. Solar #45. 46. This is some of Dan Jurgens' stuff on Solar, the latter stuff. Shadowman 29. Shadowman, I think I said. Shadowman #0. Chromium. Exo Man of War #65. I wonder if that's an homage to the X-Men 136, where he's holding Jean. Then we got Exo 66. Highlander #4. That's a Dave cover. For those of you who are Star Wars fans, you'll remember Dave a lot of the early Star Wars stuff for Dark Horse. And Highlander #4. Thought I was picking up some Highlanders I needed. These are actually all just the same comics I had, just different covers. Number 12. I am Connor and Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. And I am immortal, but there can be only one. And then we got number 11. Adrian, I'm trying to remember his last name, Peterson. That don't sound right, but I think it is right. He actually still does. I'll call him Highlander because that's obviously trademarked, but he still does things where you practice uh, sword. What's it called? Uh, Choreography, and so then gives you a sword at the end of the deal and sign autographs. Pretty cool. I thought about going to some, or one at least. X-Men Gold 5, number 25. Ryan Stegman cover, didn't realize that. And then we got X-Men Gold 34. Storm hanging out with skeletons. What is wrong with her? We're winding it down, folks. And for those of you who've been with me from the get-go, I really appreciate this. X-Men Gold 3. Astonishing X-Men 14. Little Dodson art there. A little retro, a little dazzler. X-Men Legacy, number 215. These at the dollar bins at Awesome Comics. X-Men 22. This is the Marvel Now. This is when they basically did an X-Men volume of just basically the female X-Men. Number 9. Number 21. Then you got a Phil Noto cover of House of X number 1. Cool. You got Dark Knight's Metal number 6. This is a Perillo variant. Pretty cool. And then I got the metal version of Dark Knight's Metal because I'm like, of course, right? So shiny goldenness. I believe that's still a Finch cover. No, it's completely, yeah. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle number 5, I think it might be number 6, whatever the last issue is. This is the variant cover of that, and it was a pretty cool read. 2 properties that I grew up around, and thought it was kind of cool how they put them together. Wolverine number 1. This is the facsimile edition. Joker Year of the Villain. This is a is this Perillo or Del? One of the two. Really cool Joker. Going to have a wall just of Joker covers too. So I have various. I have the wall that has the Uncanny X-Men, early Uncanny X-Men slabs, and then the other wall I switch out regularly. That way I don't get bored with it. And so right now it's got Wolverine and mainly Wolverine Hulk 181 homage covers on it. And so I posted it on IG back when I first done it. Right now it's got that because I'm still basking in the fact that I've got a Hulk 180, Hulk 181, Hulk 182. So I'm still basking in that. So I got it up here. I haven't changed it out, but I'll do covers like Twinsy covers, the Joker stuff, Batman, various things. I've got a lot of, stuff on. Captain Atom, but they're themed. Captain Atom, this is from Modern Comics. This is from 1978. This is actually a reprint. I thought it was too good to be true. I bought it for $2, so not too bad. It's in not worse shape, but this is Captain Atom, not from Charlton, but from Modern Comics, the reprint of the original Blue Beetle story, I believe. And so might keep it, might sell it. Don't know yet. But guys, if that's not enough, I still got all those boxes that I purchased. If you weren't on the first part of this, I did buy 7 short boxes. So approximately 1,000 comics from a dealer today, and plan on putting those up for auction on the various sites, YouTube and IG. And so be looking for those. For those of you who have purchased from me before, I have your IG handles, and I'll message you when I'm on various auction sites. Or if I see something that you're into, because I know some people are into Hulk, some people are in Green Lantern, so on and so forth. Usually we'll give you first dibs if I know you like that stuff, and we'll message you. If you're watching this and you haven't bought from me before, but you like first dibs on stuff, hit me up on IG, same name, Southern Comic Geek, and I'll put you on the list. Dibs on ASM. Well, I knew that, Matt, and you were one of the few that I have on the ASM all list, and I've got your list of what you need now. So I will hit you up if I find any ASM that you need in those boxes for sure. And so if you haven't bought from me before and you know you like a particular character, particular series, certain issues that you're looking for, hit me up and I'm happy to oblige. It's much easier for me to sell it like that than it is to go through doing it on the auction style, because you get stuff some people like, because the auctions, sometimes you'll get an auction where everybody loves Spider-Man. And then the other night I was doing stuff and nobody wanted the Spidey stuff, and everybody wanted everything else. And so you have to kind of feel your way around the various times that you do auctions, right? So if that's not enough, I got all those, which I told you before, I'm not going to put out there, but I will put it out there for auction and message you all if I know that you're looking for something in particular. And I also got those mystery boxes. There was a mystery I'd been forgot. Well, no, I knew he was going to mail them. I didn't know the name, and so therefore it kind of eluded me. And I'll be dropping that video. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my Uncanny X-Men Volume 2, or Episode 2, which goes from Giant Size X-Men 1 all the way to X-Men 200. Episode 3 will air next week. Not sure, probably same day, same Thursday. Works good for me to be able to drop it. If anybody has any thoughts, be sure to leave those in that video in the comments below on that going forward as I journey through all of X-Men, Uncanny X-Men volumes 1 through 5, including the annuals and the variants. But yeah, so if you haven't checked that out, and be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the like button on the way out, and hit the bell notification so that when I drop that or some of my mystery box videos, you'll be one of the first people to know. It's such great to be a part of such a great community in the comic book community, and you watch these videos as I ramble and dad jokes abound and all that kind of stuff, and go through all this stuff, and you watch it anyway and journeying with me in my collecting. I do appreciate it. Great thumbnails for the X-Men collection videos, if you do say so yourself. And hey, shout out and kudos to Mr. Comics 89. Most of you know I mean, I can, but I just don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. And so Mr. Comics 89 so graciously helped me out with the thumbnails for my Uncanny X-Men videos. Now, be careful, Mr. Comics 89, because I know Weapon X, when he did my intro, a lot of people contacted him, including yourself, about getting the intro. So now some other people might say, hey, man, Matt, can you help me out with my thumbnail? So that's everybody helping everybody else out, and do appreciate that, Matt. So till next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.